The wonderful thing about it is we have two great speakers, and Julianne will tell you about how we're going to work it after the speakers. Now, anybody got a coin? You got a coin? I just need a coin, any coin. Okay. To determine the order, we're going to have Geoff Bailey flip it and Todd Howard call it, and the person that wins the call gets to choose whether they go first or second. You want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Okay, he'll go second. Okay, no, sit down, sit down. We're not, okay. I'd like to introduce our two, what we call conversation catalysts. These two men came and said that they would help us start by trying to understand the perspective of these two plans, the Gore Challenge and the Pickens Plan. Todd Howard, who is going to go first, is the founder and president of T. Howard Associates Architects in Dallas. They're a firm dedicated to the practice of sustainable design. He is a graduate of President Al Gore's Climate Project. The Climate Project has trained 1,000 volunteers to deliver the message of the film, An Inconvenient Truth, and I think Todd's going to be telling us more about that as he talks. He's given this talk, the talk, not this talk, but the talk on the Inconvenient Truth 16 times, I think. Anyways, Todd's the president of the Dallas chapter of the AIA, and anyways, is well respected in the community for his environmental work. Geoff Bailey joined T. Boone Pickens, and he's to help generate support for the Pickens Plan. He's responsible for organizing the Pickens Plans in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska, and we're so glad that you can touch base and land down here today. His job is to provide members of the New Energy Army with resources, ideas, support in the pursuit of the American energy independence. Prior to joining the Pickens Plan, Geoff worked in Vice President Cheney's office in the White House, on Mayor Rudy Giuliani's bid for the presidency, and on numerous state and national campaigns.
Look at all the homes in this country, all the buildings. 48% of CO2 emissions come from buildings. And right now there's an initiative among the architectural community and the general contractors to push what's called Architecture 2030. And Architecture 2030 states that by the year 2030, 75% of all of our built environment will either be new, will be renovated, or will be torn down and not rebuilt. So we have an opportunity to instill in 75% of buildings that will be in place by the year 2030 renewable energy and instill energy initiatives.
To end our dependence on foreign oil. Wind power and natural gas as a transportation fuel can lower our dependence on foreign oil, make us safer here at home, and create millions of high-paying new jobs for American workers that won't go away. I appreciate Todd coming out tonight and telling us about Vice President Gore's plan. It was kind of billed as a debate, but there's so much overlap between our two plans that it's not really a debate, it's more of a discussion. I'll just tell this quick story. Ever since I started working for Mr. Pickens, I find myself telling a lot more stories. He loves meeting with Vice President Gore because Vice President Gore always wants to have a meeting over lunch. And Mr. Pickens, being 80 years old, is on the Atkins diet. Whenever they meet for lunch, Vice President Gore always orders cheeseburgers and fries. And every time before he goes into the meeting, we say, "Sir, remember your diet." And then he says, "Geoff, if it comes down between you and my cheeseburger, who do you think I'm going to choose?" I say, "Sir, have a good lunch. Enjoy that." But essentially, let me give you a little background on the problem. Currently, right now, we are addicted to foreign oil. We have been addicted to foreign oil for the past few decades. In 1970, we imported 24% of our oil. Today, it's nearly 70% and growing each and every day. I know everybody remembers this past summer when the national average for a gallon of gas was $4.50, and I think we crested it, topped out at $153 a barrel. Well, at $140 a barrel, we send $700 billion overseas each year to buy foreign oil. That's 4 times the annual cost of the Iraq War, and that's equal to the Wall Street bailout. Now, this is, if there's any differences between our plans, I would say this is the main difference. Vice President Gore comes at energy independence from a climate change, global warming perspective. The Pickens Plan, we come at energy independence, we see energy independence as a 1, national security issue, and 2, an economic security issue. If you move on from there, $700 billion overseas each year at $140 a barrel. Every day in the world, there are 85 million barrels of oil that are produced. The United States consumes 21 million of that. Now that's 25% of the world's energy consumed by 4% of the world's population. In addition to that, that 4% of the world's population only possesses 3% of the world's reserves. So obviously we've got a dramatic problem. What's the solution? The United States is the Saudi Arabia of wind power. The North American wind corridor, which stretches from the panhandle of Texas north through Canada, is home to the best wind power in the world. Just to give you an example, some data to back that up. North Dakota alone, according to the United States Department of Energy, has the wind energy potential to generate 25% of the nation's energy needs. 2007, the U.S. Department of Energy put out a study that said that the North American wind corridor has absolutely the potential to generate 20% of our wind energy needs over the next 10 years. Kind of to get into the weeds a little bit, what the Pickens Plan would like to do, currently if you look at the national electrical generation chart, 50% comes from coal, around 20% comes from nuclear, 20% comes from natural gas, and 10% comes from other hydropower, solar power, things like that. What we'd like to do is take that 20% that's generated by natural gas, replace it with wind power, and divert that natural gas into the transportation grid. On a number basis, what would that do? That would lower our dependence on foreign oil by 38%. What does that mean in a dollar figure? Dollar figure, that's roughly $380 billion a year at $140 a barrel. Now, I know we're all in a recession. What could this economy do with an extra $380 billion? A lot.